Hi there, this is my 2008 Yamaha YZ450F and it is street legal. I've got a couple, I think there's just two on the little YouTube channel I have. Really don't do anything with YouTube, but there's all these people out there who either buy a street legal dirt bike or buy a dual sport right from the dealership, or they want to make their own bike street legal. And that right there is the hardest part, getting the plate. This is a 2008. So to do this in North Carolina, you need to call up your insurance company and get what is called an indemnity bond. Now, that gets you your title and also you to be able to get it registered for the street. Now, to do this, get your bike made street legal, like all the bells and whistles on it, okay? Mine, you see, has kickstart, but this right here makes it so no one can steal it. So, on, all right, start here. Just pressure washed it, so. So, in North Carolina, you need tail light, brake light, got it, turn signals, front and rear, 2 mirrors, which are basically useless, because when I ride a motorcycle, I look behind me, because I'm not going to trust the mirror. It's not like in a car. So, now, once you have that done, call up your insurance company, tell them you need an indemnity bond and you're making a dirt bike street legal. You've done all the necessary stuff. You know, it also helps if you have a professional mechanic install all this. So in case they ask to see that it was done by someone, not just you, because they want, you know, a pro to do it. Just for the sake of, if they ask that, you have it done by somebody. But you can do it, or you can say, I did it myself, it all works, in case they want to look at it, you know, whatever. So once that's done, you fill out all the necessary paperwork that you get from a license plate agency, and unfortunately, none of this stuff is online. You have to go to the place and get it done. So you go there, get the paperwork, and they'll be like, hey, you can't do it here, it's at this other one. I wound up going to 3 different DMVs. Yeah, that's right, 3. I went to the one in Harrisburg, North Carolina. Then I went to the one in Concord. Then I had to go to one in Kannapolis off of Dale Earnhardt Boulevard. So, I mean, if you're in North Carolina, that might be the place you have to go to. And sadly enough, my insurance company, State Farm, they didn't have my middle name on the paperwork, and I had to go and call them back up and get my middle name and go back the following week. I was so pissed, but unfortunately that's what can happen. So, but once all that's done, you get your bond. The indemnity bond basically is, I think it's like, it's a small number times what the vehicle's worth, like what your bill of sale was. That's what I had to do, because I had a bill of sale. The license plate agency calculates that for you. You show that number to the insurance company, and basically you wind up just paying like $100. In my case, that's what it was. Then you come back with all that paperwork and do it within the same month, because your bike can go up in value, and mine already did. But they were like, they kind of felt bad because I had all the necessary paperwork, but I don't think they actually felt bad. But if they wanted to be bigger bitches than they were the first time I went there, they could have made me go get another bond, because I got it all done in June. But you work and you have other stuff to worry about. I mean, this is a luxury thing to have. They could make you pay more for it. I was like, at the time, I was like, I don't care. Whatever it's gonna cost, I'm gonna do it. And they're like, forget it, But now, other than that, though, it's a simple process. Once that's done, they register it, and then you get the plate. And that increases the value of these bikes. It really does, because every teenager's dream is to be able to legally be able to ride their bike down the road after riding at a track and coming home. They're like, oh, I just want to go down the road. Can I just take this? No, you got to get all cleaned up and go in the car or the truck to go get some food or whatever. Or you're just out riding trails with your buddies and you just want to go run up to wherever or ride down to your friend's house, and you don't have that stress and anxiety of dealing with the police officer. They just wave at you. When they see the plate and turn signals and mirrors and crap, it's almost like, you know what, even though you really don't need to use them, you can just use hand signals. It is good in case something does happen regarding, like, for legal purposes, just to have them. But besides that, it just makes them not even want to fucking follow you around, because they see a bike that's in DOT compliance versus someone who's just going down the road with a full-on motocross bike. Sadly though, just in the dirt trim, it isn't the best, but you know what? Rambo wouldn't take a supermoto bike. That's just me. It would be fun to have supermoto tires on it, but I am selling this bike. It's just, it's just on to the next project, yes, basically, But I've had this bike 6 years. It is a bike that's never let me down. I mean, I doubt I'll ever find another bike that's as reliable. I want to get a KTM 500, but then again, I'd rather just get a Rice Rocket like a ZX-10 or an R1, but this is just one of those custom bikes that you just don't see, and if you do, it's probably not going to be done as well. I'd say the two best dual sports I've seen were like dirt bike conversions. Jake the Garden Snake's bike, XR650R, and then Motonosity. If you just want to throw all the money in the world at a bike, Motonosity's bike. But I'd still take Jake's bike over that, because it's one of those Hondas in an era where they're more reliable than the CRFs. Their valves kind of go out of spec easily. Don't know why, but certain CRF models have that. But this one, like the Yamahas and Kawasaki's just seem more, in my opinion, more bulletproof. And this being a 2008, you have to get a 2008 WR 450 wiring harness, like that 2006 to 2009 era wiring harness to run a kit like this. Also, in here, 35 watt stator from Ricky Stators. You get that, and then you get the regulator rectifier, which is in here along with the Na-Min battery that they sell. Buy those three things, and then everything else I got from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. This is a sick-ass racing keyed kill switch. So basically it replaces this. My mechanic just left this on there, and whatever, who cares. But the signals times two, you know, because 2 sets of them. LED turn signals, the mirrors, and the brake light, tail light, and the turn signals. All that, and the horn. They're all Tusk products. So that's all from Rocky Mountain ATV. And then the Cowells, or Cowell, these are right off of Amazon. The cheapest LED lights you can find. One's a high beam, low beam. The mechanic told me, he's like, listen, most people, like, if they wanted to be, you know, a stickler about it, a high beam needs to be like shining higher than the other one. You could just turn one of these upward, and there you go, and they can't say anything. And it's got the high beam, low beam function. If they see something on the bike, they can fail you for that. So everything on here, if it's there, you have to have it. And that's the hot start, which I've really never had to use other than like 2 times, but that was like, you know, hours upon hours up Brushy Mountain, and just, you know, run engine ice, people. That's all I gotta say. Ever since I've never needed that since, and it's rare I've ever had to use that. Got the hour meter. I change the oil on this every 5 hours just because it just stays reliable. The valves don't go out of spec. They, you know, oil filter every time I change it. And then, of course, an air filter. I just get the new ones because I'm tired of cleaning them. But then, what is it? Yeah, it's just neat. Like, it's almost like, oh, you have it finally, and then you're like, okay, and then it just wears off, you know. But I'd rather have a street legal bike over a full-on motocross bike any day, because you can do more with it, because a lot of times this thing just sits in the garage. Now I can just run up to the store with a backpack, get some groceries. Not a lot of them, let's be honest. But other than that, though, I mean, just full-on aftermarket parts, you know, like the bling parts, like that, bigger rear brake, you know, bling, which does nothing, I mean, except add so much horsepower. If you believe that, you're a dumbass. Pro Taper clamp-on grips, I suggest to everybody buy these, because instead of using like the wire, and that can like rip your glove and your finger open if it's not done properly, which everyone's done that. If you ride, you've done it. And then that way you don't have to get the super glue off and all that. Psycho Pro Bend bark busters, these are great. Trailtech kickstand, MSR skid plate, Tusk oversized radiators with the Tusk hoses, chain guard, for the case. Primary drive, front and rear steel sprockets. 1349. I kept the stock setup because off-road or on a motocross track, God, I mean, just the response you get, I wouldn't change it. For the road, yes, obviously change it. I mean, this bike can do 90 to 100 miles an hour, but you're not going to maintain that speed. It's just a fucking motocross bike. Just be serious about it. You don't want to blow your motor. Yeah, I've got the RAM mount here. I'm recording this on my cell phone, but any speedometer app works. That is your speedometer. And let me tell you, I've seen people that have, like, their speedometers don't work. I don't know if they've just installed them incorrectly, but you know what? It's one of those things that, hey, it's your speed is being read by GPS. With current technology with the phones, it's pretty freaking accurate. I drive around with it in my 350Z and my F-150, and it's accurate. It is accurate, and I haven't gotten a ticket, so it works for me. That's what I would recommend to people, because you already have your phone on the RAM mount anyway. You don't want it in your pocket. You don't want it to fall out. It stays in place. It works, and there are apps where you have GPS and the speedometer read at the same time. So, like, why go to a different one? I got this just for the hell of it. It is cool to see how hot your bike gets. It really doesn't go down. It likes to stay there. It really doesn't. When you first get it, it's here at the bottom, but once it gets above 100, it stays there. It really doesn't do anything until after it gets above 100 degrees. So a lot of people say, oh, they break. It's not broken. It's just, it doesn't need to, I mean, outside, but let's be honest, it's outside. It's already a freaking 95 degrees where I'm at right now, and I'm sweating out here. So with the bike running, it is over 100 degrees. So I'd say it freaking works. Or you got a defective one. FMF titanium exhaust system with the Mega Bomb header and the Power Core 4 exhaust. FMF jet kit. OEM Yamaha clutch. Because anyone will tell you, you know what, OEM's usually the best, unless the bike's known for having just garbage internals. But I mean, come on, it's Japan. The Yamaha and Kawis, even Hondas, they're fucking bulletproof for the most part. But you know, I mean, it's a 2008. It's old, but I'm selling it for $4,000 or best offer. You know, but if you have questions about how to make your bike street legal in North Carolina, I feel like I've answered them in this video, and also like detailed like what my bike has. You know, I mean, just the parts alone on this bike add up. But you know, I am selling it for $4,000 or best offer, no trades. It's on Facebook Marketplace, and yeah, this is gonna go up onto YouTube, and you know, send me a message and we'll make a deal. But this is a very good bike. It's never let me down. I've seen all my friends' bikes fall apart. Maybe I'm just a better mechanic than them. And also, you know what? The machine, it just works. It always starts. 93 octane always. 10W40 full synthetic. And oil filter every time, air filter every time the oil's changed as well. And you know, it's just so cool to look at. I mean, like when people see you riding around on this, it's sick. And they look at it like, what, is that legal? Yes, it is. Oh, there's another guy, I'd say top 3. probably said the top 2 earlier in the video, but top 3, there's a guy who did a YZ250X. I think he does like camping videos and like Volkswagen buses or whatever, but his YZ250X, he basically did like the same thing I did. Obviously he did it before me, but seeing him, Autonosity, and Jake the Garden Snake doing this stuff, it was just, you know, something I wanted to do. And like, it can be done, you know, where there's a will, there's a way, but you know, for this type of bike, I had to do my research, and it was, owned it 6 years, and you know, with this whole virus going on, had some spare time, and I was like, look, this is something I want to do, add the value, make more money when I sell it, but also, you know, it's just so cool. I might not sell it because it's just so much fun to have, because you can't really go to a dealership, get a KX450 or YZ450 and get it street legal from the dealership. KTMs are already done. I mean, you can just go that route, but the Japanese bikes are just, parts are just cheaper and available. So yeah, all right, have a nice day. Oh, and also, do not like and subscribe. Don't do it.